Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video for you, and I'm going to be showing you some makeup products that I actually regret buying. And the reason why I decided to do this video today is because I was recently reorganising and decluttering my makeup collection, and I stumbled across loads of different products that I actually don't use, and I thought it would be really good to put into a video the reasons why I don't like these products and why I actually regret buying them. And I know there's been quite a lot of people that do these kind of videos, and I think they're really good because if you guys are on the fence about buying a certain product, it kind of make you think twice whether or not you should buy it. So I don't really like to use the word hate in this video because I think it's a really strong word, and I don't really want to be slagging off makeup brands because that's not who I am and what I represent. And I always give you guys my honest opinion, so I always do my favourites video and I show you guys products that I love all the time. So I thought, why don't I show you the products that I dislike and that I regret buying. So guys, on a separate note, I'm actually thinking about doing a Q&A video soon because I get asked so many questions on my YouTube and on my Twitter and my Instagram, and I always go and reply to you guys in the comments, but I thought it'd be quite good and a bit interesting to do a Q&A video. So if you guys have got any questions that you want to ask me, whatever it might be about makeup, it might be about my personal life, you can just leave it in the comments below, or you can tweet me, you can Instagram me, and also put it on my Snapchat. So I will leave all my links to my social media down below and just ask away. So guys, if you're interested in seeing the products that I regret buying, then just keep watching. So the first product that I want to show you is this By Terry eyeshadow palette. I purchased this from Space NK probably about 6 to 7 months ago now, and this is their eye designer palette in the number 2, and they do have a number 1 which I think is more neutral smoky eyeshadows, but these colours just absolutely screamed at me when I was in Space NK, and I was like, I need to have this palette. And I was swatching all of them in the store and they just looked beautiful. They were so creamy and buttery, and I thought they're going to be amazing. So it was really expensive. This is probably one of my most expensive makeup purchases ever. This palette cost me £69, and I was on the fence about buying it initially, and I actually walked away out of Space NK and I thought, oh, I just really want that makeup palette, and I just could not get it out of my head. So I went back there the next day and I splurged the money and I got this palette. I was really excited about using it, and I thought I'm going to do loads of tutorials on YouTube and I'm going to do loads of colourful looks and stuff. But when I got home and I was actually playing with the eyeshadows, I was really disappointed. They were not pigmented at all. I tried wetting my brush, I tried using MAC Fix Plus to get loads of colour payoff from it, but every time I just put it on the lid, I would go to blend it and it would just completely blend away the colour. All the colour would go, you would have nothing at all. And at first I was a little bit confused, and I was thinking, am I actually using this the right way? And I was researching it online, there was loads of people saying the same thing, and I'm thinking, why did I just waste £69 on it? But I just thought it was a bit of a letdown because there's so many different makeup brands on the market that have very similar palettes to this, and their eyeshadows are a lot better. But I just felt like these didn't live up to my expectations at all, and yeah, I was just really disappointed with it. So the second product that I want to show you is this foundation from Becca. This is their AQUA Luminous foundation. Now I again had really high expectations for this because I absolutely love their highlighters and I love their backlight priming filter, so I thought this was going to live up to their really good reputation. I felt like it really broke up on my skin throughout the day. It didn't sit well on my face at all. It does give a really beautiful sort of dewy luminous finish, so if you guys like that then you might like this. I just thought the longevity and the staying power was really bad, but I just felt like after a couple of hours after I applied this foundation, it started separating on my forehead and around my nose. So I did try and use this foundation with different primers and different setting powders because sometimes that can manipulate how a foundation wears. So I did also found that it oxidized really badly on my skin, and if you guys don't know what oxidizing means, it means when the foundation actually connects with the air and it goes like a shade or two darker and it goes really orange. So I actually noticed I started to look like an Oompa Loompa by the end of the day, and it's actually really weird because this is in the shade Light, which I believe is their second lightest shade. So this matched me perfectly in store, but yeah, just a couple of hours after I wore it, I just felt like I looked really orange. So I do really regret buying this foundation, and yeah, I just had massively high hopes for it. So the next item that I want to show you is this primer by Makeup Forever, and this is their Step 1 Skin Equaliser Primer in the mattifying kind, and I believe they have like loads of different variations of this primer. So I actually picked this up at IMATS about a year ago, and my skin was a lot more oily back then, so I really did want to try and find a primer that can control that oil, which is why I chose this mattifying one. And I do get really oily around my nose, so I thought this would be great. So when I first used this primer, I did use it around my nose. I do get really oily here, like around the sides of my nose, and it kind of created almost like a silicone barrier, which I thought would be really, really good. But as soon as you put foundation on top, I just felt like it completely broke up on my skin. And again, like throughout the day, I noticed that it starts separating around here. You could literally just swipe your face and all of your foundation will come off. I feel like this would be really good for someone who didn't wear a lot of makeup, because I think this would be really great on its own. But again, underneath foundations and powders and concealers and that type of thing, I do think it doesn't perform as well as it should do. And yeah, I was just really, really disappointed with this. So the next product that I want to talk about is this one from L'Oreal. This is their Infallible Sculpt contouring palette. I picked this up not so long ago, I think out of Boots or Superdrug, and it was quite inexpensive. I believe it was like £7 or £8, and I did want to give it a go because it was new on the market, and I'm not really into cream based contours that much, and I really sort of wanted to break out that mould and try a few different cream based contour palettes to see if I liked it. But I just really did not like the formula of these. I felt like when it was on the skin, it just didn't give a lot of pigmentation. I just feel like it kind of blends into nothing, and it kind of looks really muddy on the skin. It's not a good shade at all. So I'm blending all this in now, and it just completely blends in with your skin tone and you can't see anything. And I also felt like the highlighting shade was exactly the same. Like that was almost like just blended into nothing. So I just felt like you couldn't really do much with this palette, and yeah, I was just really, really disappointed with it. So the next thing that I want to show you is by Maybelline. This is their Superstay 24-hour makeup locking setting spray. Now I found this again in Boots or Superdrug a little while ago, and I was on the hunt for like a decent setting spray, but I wanted to try a few from the drugstore just to see if there was any good sort of like cheaper alternatives out there. And this one just sort of stuck out at me because I know their Superstay 24-hour line is quite good, but I was really disappointed when I used this. So I did actually do like a normal makeup routine, and then I sprayed like 2 to 3 pumps, which is what they say you should do, and it just felt like it just broke up my makeup completely, and it almost looked like my skin was streaking. So I tried to hold it further away to see if it would just be more like a mist, but even then it still started to streak, and when I tried to blend in those streaks, it would just completely wipe away any makeup that I had on my skin. So again, I had to go in with a beauty blender and apply a little bit more foundation, and by then it just looked really patchy and really messy, and I didn't even get to see if it actually held your makeup into place. I assumed it didn't because it completely wore off after 1 second. But yeah, it was just really, really disappointing, and I was just expecting it to be a lot better than that. So the next item that I want to talk about is this eyebrow pencil from EYELURE, and I'm always on the hunt for like a good eyebrow pencil. I feel like I always use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, which is like my ultimate favourite eyebrow product, but I just felt like I wanted to find something that was a little bit more affordable. So this was a bit of a fail on my behalf because I didn't actually swatch this when I was in the wholesalers because they had no testers, and obviously this was wrapped up in the packaging, but I just purchased it on a whim anyway. When I got it home and I used it, it was just, there was nothing there. Like I'll swatch it on my hand, it's like, where, like how, like there's just no guts in it whatsoever. How can you draw an eyebrow with that? It's just really, really like bad, and obviously it just blends into nothing as well. So yeah, I was just really, really disappointed with this, and I felt like as a pencil it should have been a little bit more pigmented than what it was. So the next product that I want to talk about is this Urban Decay illuminated blusher, I believe. I think it's a blusher or a highlight, I'm not actually sure what it is, but I purchased this ages ago now, and when I was in the store and I was swatching it, I was like, this looks beautiful, and like the lady was selling it to me and I was like, yeah, I need to have this. And it does look beautiful on the skin. I don't actually know if the camera's picking that up, but it's more sort of like an iridescent peachy pink colour, but it's got so much chunky glitter in it. It just looks really bad on the cheekbones. I tried to use it as kind of like a blush topper as well, but again, I just felt like it was just too much glitter on the face and it just didn't look good. It looked really unnatural and it just didn't give a nice glow to the skin at all. But I do think like this could be really nice on the body, which I've yet to try. Like I do think on the shoulders it could look quite nice, but yeah, on the face I just wasn't a fan of it at all. So the next product that I want to talk about is by NYX, and this is their Butt Naked Turn the Other Cheek palette. I actually bought this online, so I didn't get a chance to swatch it or anything, but I just really like the colours in here. I thought it could be quite a good affordable neutral palette that you could create like loads of different sort of neutral and smoky looks with. And what I liked about it as well is that at the back it does have 4 blushes and 3 highlighters, so I kind of thought this would be really good for travelling. So I thought for versatility it would be really good, but when I got it I was really disappointed with how they actually performed. I felt like the eyeshadows were really hit or miss and really inconsistent with one another. Like you'd swatch one of them and they'd be really nice and creamy and pigmented, and you'd swatch another one and it would just be really chunky and glittery, or another one would just have no pigment in it. And I felt like the blushes and the highlighters were exactly the same. For example, the highlighters here, I felt like these two on the ends were really nice and creamy and they actually sat quite nicely on the skin, but this one here was just, there was just nothing to it at all. Like you didn't really get much colour out of it and it wasn't as creamy as the other two, and it just reminded me of like a kid's palette almost, like what a kid would buy out of Claire's Accessory to do their makeup with. And yeah, I was just really disappointed with how this performed. So the last product that I want to show you guys is by Revlon, and this is their Ultra HD Matte Lip Colour. So I actually bought this in 2 shades and I thought these would be really good to test out, because I heard like Michelle Keegan rave about these, because I think that she's like the face for Revlon, and I thought, well, if it's good enough for Michelle, it's good enough for me. So I got it home and I played with these, and I just felt like the formula wasn't as good as what I thought it would be. I thought they applied really patchy and they just didn't sit well on the lips, and for a matte lipstick I expected it to be a lot long wearing and a lot more matte on the lips, but I felt like it was quite creamy in consistency. And then another thing that I really don't like about this product is that it smells really strong. Like it's not an offensive bad smell, it actually smells like sweets or cakes, but it's just so overpowering, and when you put it on the lips it's just quite sickly. And yeah, it just made me feel a little bit queasy when I put this on, so I was like, I'm not a fan of these at all. So guys, that is the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed watching the products that I regret buying. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know if you want to see more of these videos, because I only showed you a small amount of products, which is hard to believe. I did actually have quite a few products that I didn't like, but I didn't want this video to be too long. But if you do like these kind of videos, I can always do more of them. And also, if you guys have got any products that you don't like, don't forget to leave them down in the comments below, because I always like to go and check out your opinion, and I think it's good to like get a bit of a conversation, a bit of momentum going on below these videos. It kind of like helps others like making a decision on whether or not they should buy these specific products. So again guys, I really hope that you enjoyed it, and so don't forget to hit that subscribe button for 2 videos a week, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!